afternoon, ladies as well as gentlemen. Papa Boris here for some more Hearthstone Arena action. I already paid my entry fee. I love paying the entry fee like right after finishing an arena so that I know what my next hero is going to be. Have a choice here between the Shaman, the Paladin, and the Mage. And I've kind of been wanting to play as a Rogue to try it out, but I have not seen a Rogue even once in 7 straight arenas. That's just my luck. I also have not seen a Mage to date, and I do want to try the Mage out, so let's go ahead and play it. Really good hero ability, really good class cards, solid class all around. Let's see what we start off with. Well, we get a piece of garbage, and a card that wins games, so let's go ahead and grab the card that wins games. Here we have a good 1-drop. This is like one of the few 1-drops that I'll actually enjoy playing. And then this is an expensive creature that restores health, but has really terrible stats. However, the Gnomish Inventor is just really great. So we're going to go ahead and grab it. Ooh, a tough call here. I don't like this Berserker much, but Fireball and Dark Iron Dwarf are both great. Now, the Fireball is just really great. I mean, it's a good way to finish off your opponent. It's a good way to kill things. Really sad to see the Dark Iron Dwarf also in this pack. I would love to have gotten that another time, but Fireball is just too good. Well, everything so far is at 3, which is a little bit frustrating, or at 4, which is a bit frustrating. So here, the Frost Nova is a card I would take, but not above the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Not only is it a 2/2 for 2, which can drop down and start the beats early on, but it also can scare your opponent into using some removal, because you generally don't want to let mages have cheaper spells. So we're going to go ahead and grab this fellow. Alright, this is a bit of an unfortunate pack. Don't like this guy very much. The taunt is almost useless. I don't like her very much, as I've explained. This guy's pretty solid, so hopefully this will be near the top of our curve. Although so far we got a bunch of 4 drops and almost nothing else. So definitely hoping for some more quality 2 and 3 drops in this draft. Well, we have a pretty bad creature that dies super easily. A terrible secret. So Cone of Cold it is. The 1 damage isn't super great, but I find that when I play against mages, having 3 of my creatures not be able to attack is kind of frustrating to deal with. So let's see what it's like to be on the other side of that beatdown. Alright, this is a really terrible card. I don't like this creature very much, so it's between this or the Ironbeak Owl. Now the Owl I think is very good because silence is strong, but it might be like a little bit overrated by people. The problem with the Owl is that the body kind of sucks. 2/1 for 2 is not really all that great. So the question is, which do I like less, the Grizzly or the Owl? Well, I guess the Owl is a little bit more of a safer pick here because it can, you know, turn off Twilight Drakes and taunts and other stuff. So we're going to go ahead and pick it up here. Alright, so here we have 3 reasonably decent creatures. I find that the Mogushan Warden is a card that looks bad, but in practice ends up being very annoying to deal with. However, I already have a bunch of 4 drops. I don't particularly want more, so we'll grab the Questing Adventurer as more enemy removal bait. Okay, Frostbolt is interesting removal. It's 3 damage for 3 mana, which is kind of bad. The Reckless Rocketeer is great. It did a really nice job in my Shaman deck yesterday, but I don't know if I necessarily want to commit to such an expensive card that's has such low stats just yet. Acolyte Pain is always very solid. It'll usually draw a card, sometimes 2 cards. So the question is, do I want like a solid 3-drop that's not very hard-hitting, but it has good value, or do I want this removal? Well, right now the only piece of removal I have is Fireball, so in the event that I don't get more, I think I'm going to grab this while I have the chance. Alright, so I'm not a big fan of the Mana Addict. Obviously, in a Mage spell, it's about as good as it gets, but it's basically like a 3/3 for 2 mana as long as you cast a spell. How good is that? It's okay. The Ravenholt Assassin is a really good finisher, and the Demolisher is more removal bait. Now, I'm kind of lacking on things to just like hit my opponent with hard, so we'll take the Ravenholt Assassin as a nice late game creature. Alright, finally we have some early plays. Now, do we want a Sorcerer's Apprentice or a Raptor? Well, the Raptor hits a little bit harder, but the Sorcerer's Apprentice is a bit scarier. Having 3 damage on a 2-mana creature is important, though, because you'll need that sometimes in order to trade up with your opponent's better creatures. Then again, I am a Mage, so I can always trade up by using my hero ability. We'll go ahead and grab another Sorcerer's Apprentice. A 3rd Sorcerer's Apprentice. How many Sorcerer's Apprentices is too many? Well, the Brewmaster is a very strong creature. I don't think I want that many Sorcerer's Apprentices. And Mirror Image is okay. It delays your opponent, but it's not super great. So we're going to go ahead and just grab this big beefcake. Alright, I don't really want 2 of these Ventricombe Mercenaries. It's between the Loot Hoarder and the Spellbreaker. They're both really good. I am inclined to take the Loot Hoarder just because it's fitting my curve a little bit better. Then again, the difference isn't that great, and we still have more than half the draft to go. This is a really good creature. 4/3 on a 4-mana creature is totally fine, and the silence can be really great. So we'll go ahead and grab this. Alright, well, these are both fine creatures, but you really can't pass up a Polymorph. So now we really need to get off the 4-mana cost wagon here and take some other stuff. Well, I have to choose between Polymorph and Flame Strike. I feel wrong playing a Mage deck without Flame Strike. Although, let's see. I have currently Fireball and a Polymorph for dealing with single creatures, so yeah, we'll take this for the mass removal. That's a good thing to have in your back pocket. Alright, this is perfect. Raging Worgen, good 3-drop is exactly what I'm wanting here. The Stormwind Champion is terrific, but I already have the Ventrico and the Ravenholt Assassin, so I'd rather miss out on some late game power than miss out on some early game power, so we're going to go ahead and grab the Worgen here. Okay, it's between the Cone of Cold or the Frostwolf. I don't have that many 5-drops, and the Frostwolf is a pretty good one. Now, unfortunately, I don't have anything at the moment that drops other stuff into play, so he's not super synergistic with the deck. Mirror Image would actually be pretty good with the Frostwolf. But I already have a Cone of Cold, so the question is, do I want another one over this potentially large creature? Let's go for the... let me think. The thing about my deck, it really has it has 0 synergy with the Frostwolf right now. There's nothing in my deck that puts other things into play. The Mage Hero ability doesn't put anything on the board. So Cone of Cold, I mean, I guess this is really a test of how good is Cone of Cold. Oh, man. I could just take it as a test to find out and see. Yeah, we'll test it. I'm going to test Cone of Cold here and see how good it is. So, Mirror Entity is a potentially very good card, although your opponent will usually play around it. I'd rather have something that's actually a guaranteed creature. Alright, Frost Nova I'm not a super big fan of. I know it's annoying to be on the other side of it, but still not a really big fan. I'll take this. It's a quasi-removal card, so I'll grab it. Alright, we have a rare, and it's a garbage card, and a 3/3 for 3 that might be a 6/6 for 3. Yeah, I think you have to take this here, although I'm kind of annoyed about this pack. Alright, so here we've got Arcane Explosion, but I'm not a big fan of this, especially we've got 2 Cones of Cold, and it's more or less the same thing. So I'm going to actually grab the Dragonling Mechanic. This would have been a lot better had I taken the Frostwolf Warlord, but it's still a really good 4-drop, I think. Alright, we have more swarmy stuff, and then Mana Worm. Mana Worm is interesting because if you can play a spell, it's a 2/3 for 1 mana, which is solid, but I mean, realistically, how often are you going to be playing a spell on turn 2? So it's not as aggressive as it looks. The Darkscale Healer is interesting. I am kind of lacking for late game. It's pretty much just got the Assassin and the Ventrico. But again, this isn't that big of a body. So we'll just take a 2-drop. I'm kind of lacking in those, and swarming the board might be nice. Now I really wish I had taken the Frostwolf Warlord. Well, it's a shame I didn't get the Frostwolf Warlord, but with 2 swarming creatures just picked up, the Cultmaster is even stronger than usual. I'm not really tempted by the Spellbreaker because I already have 2 silences. I am tempted by this guy. He'd be nice and filling a nice spot in my deck, but hopefully in the remaining 7 picks we'll get 1 more fat creature to round out the later half of our curve. Right, well, mages don't have weapons, so this is unimpressive. This is also unimpressive. We're just going to take a 4/6 for 5. That's a bit of a shame. Wow, tough choice here. The Ice Lance is garbage, but both of these are such great creatures. Oh, man, I don't even know what's better. I hate having to make this choice. And curve considerations are equal. Let's go ahead and take the Dark Iron Dwarf. Since I don't have that many 2-drops, I'll have a higher chance of being able to pump something with the Dwarf than with the Shattered Sun Cleric. Alright, well, this is great. I have another chance to pick up an Ogre, so that's fantastic. Garbage, and a big dude. Just what I need. So I'm getting kind of high on big dudes. I got 1, 2, 3-ish, and then now 4 big dudes. That's I'm pretty happy about that. Well, the Dalaran Mage, really happy to have that. Spell power is obviously good for mages, and especially nice that I have these Cones of Cold. They become Wrecking Ball powerhouses with some spell power. So let's pick up our first spell power card. Wow. Well, the Ancient Mage is interesting, but I don't value spell power that highly. It's definitely between these 2. Now, the Wild Pyromancer is kind of cool because it's, even without any spells, it's just a 3/2 for 2, and I'm really lacking for good 2-drops. I normally like to play more aggressive decks, but if you look at this deck, all we're playing on turn 2, we got 2 Apprentices and a Tidehunter. So that's kind of lame, and it'd be nice to have more 2-drops. Now, Argent Commander undeniably is just an amazing creature. because you throw it on the board, deal 4 damage to something, and you leave a body behind. So this is a really tough decision. I'm going to go ahead and make the curve consideration here and take the Wild Pyromancer, because in the late game, the Wild Pyromancer can still be good as you play it and then sort of quasi-wrath your opponents by playing spells. If this were just like a generic 3-2, like it was like a generic beast or something, I would of course go for the Argent Commander. Let me give myself a moment to change my mind. How many big creatures do I have? 1-ish, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think we have enough removal in this deck between the Fireball, the Polymorph, the Cones of Cold. I guess it's not that. Is that much? I guess it's not really that much. I have a Flame Strike. Boy. Alright. I'm going to grab the Argent Commander. I feel like my instincts are to take this guy. Oh, man, but my instincts are also to take this guy. This is one of the hardest picks I've had. Alright, let's just go with my first instinct then. I have instincts for both, but my first instinct was the Wild Pyromancer, so we'll grab it, and we'll see if I regret it. Okay, so we have a piece of garbage here, and then 2 very good cards. The Faceless Manipulator is cheaper, usually. The problem with the Molten Giant is, sometimes, granted, it is just absolutely ridiculously amazing. But the problem is, if you're down so much in health that this Molten Giant becomes affordable, then it might be a problem that you're spending your mana and then the guy doesn't even have Taunt. So it's like really great if the board is stalled and you're at 10 life and you can just drop an 8/8 down for free, but I'd rather have the slightly more sure play that can copy any terrifying thing my opponent puts down and do good things with it. Alright, so that's the deck. Let's go ahead and take the Mage for our first spin. Alright, we're finding an opponent here. Porcupine, that's a cool name. I like Porcupine. And it's a rogue to kick things off in the arena. Well, can you tell me we're at least going second? We're going first. Oh boy, that's a little scary. Luckily, I can kill the Defias Ringleader's little miniature spawn. Let's send all that stuff back, see if we can fish up some of our early plays. There we go. It's actually a little bit better. So, yeah, let's pass the turn and see what my opponent's got for me. Don't have it, don't have it, don't have it, don't have it. Good, he probably doesn't have it. If he had Coin Defias, he probably would have already played it. So, wow, Rogue with nothing on turn 1. That's always happy news. Let's put down our 2-3. Look at this, see? It's a good thing I didn't take that Argent Commander, because if I had, then this guy, then I'd have nothing to do on turn 2. So, my first instinct is paying off already. Cone of Cold actually is really nice against rogues, especially if they do the Defias Ringleader and then like Shadow Step and then put another guy down. The Cone of Cold can just wipe it all out. That's pretty sweet. Oh, does he have removal? Eviscerate. Well, I can't complain about a rogue using Eviscerate on my 2-drop. Now, I have some options here. I can of course play the Wolf Rider and charge in, but then the rogue will almost certainly just dagger up and kill it. Now, that is dealing 6 damage and spending most of my opponent's mana. So it is kind of tempting to basically bait my opponent into doing that play. A slightly more conservative play is to play the Tide Hunter. That's still tempting my opponent to use up his mana. It's keeping this in reserve where it might act as removal. So we're actually going to go ahead and do this. Even though it doesn't spend all of the mana, I feel that the most significant benefit I would get from playing the Wolf Rider is baiting my opponent into using his dagger, and this play accomplishes the same thing. Now, in the next turn, depending on what my opponent does, I will either play the Gnomish Inventor or the Cult Master, probably. I'm hoping my opponent plays some creatures that I can suicide my dudes into and draw cards. Looks like I'm not so lucky. Look, oh my god, Shiv. You know, I'm really learning to hate that card. It's so good. Well, at least he didn't get the Wolf Rider with it, so that's something. Okay, my opponent basically spent his turn clearing the board. He maintained card advantage by not spending any other cards, because Shiv replaced itself in the dagger. Now, he didn't actually kill my Murloc Scout. I think that has to be a mistake, because you always want to kill off your opponent's creatures. Let's go ahead and use up my maximum amount of mana by playing the Gnomish Inventor and picking up a card. This also puts more stuff on the board that I can then kill off with a profit for the Cult Master. Well, this is a really great start. I think attacking me was a mistake. I mean, you generally don't want to waste your durability so early in the game attacking your opponent. If you're going to attack, you should kill creatures, or if you're not going to kill creatures, you should just hold back. But that's just my opinion. That's one of the tricky things about playing the rogue. So luckily, it appears that we're up against a rogue who either drew bad cards or drafted a bad deck because he didn't have anything on turn 1 or 2. And he made a very questionable play not killing off my creatures. So that's always nice to be playing against a rogue who doesn't quite know what he's doing. This is part of why I actually don't recommend rogues for newer players. It's just so easy to make these kinds of misjudgments with your dagger play. Alright, well, let's see what my opponent wants to do. I'm hoping he plays a big creature. I'd love to see that. Dark Iron Dwarf, and then I could kill it. It's possible I can even suicide some stuff with the Cult Master. Alright, he's finally using up his coin. I'm happy to see that. Nightblade! What a bad card. Oh, I'm so happy to see that. Okay, that's just a terrible card. Now, I have some options here. I can play the Cult Master and suicide, and then draw 2 cards. The problem with that is I don't actually end up killing the Nightblade because I don't have enough mana to use this Fire Blast. So what I'd like to do instead is play the Dark Iron Dwarf and take care of the Nightblade that way. Gnomish Inventor already drew a card and paid for itself, so I am using my mana a little bit inefficiently, but that seemed like the best way to do things. Now I've got board control, and let's see, I've got sort of 7 cards on the board. My opponent has 7 plus a weapon, so he's got a little bit of an edge in that respect, but I do have stuff on the board and he doesn't. Plus, I've got pretty good answers to things my opponent can play. Cult Master and Suiciding for cards. Wolf Rider plus Hero Power is removal. Panther can sit and wait. It's so thematic that they have a Panther with stealth, I think. Because it, like, sits in the bushes all stealthy-like, and it waits for its prey to come out, and then it pounces. Deadly Poison! Alright, is he going to kill my dwarf? Is he going to dagger up and kill my dwarf? Or is he going to frickin' shiv? Oh my god. Rogue removal! Maybe he has Fan of Knives. That would be pretty spectacular, actually, if he has Fan of Knives here. Kills the Murloc, draws a card, gets this down to 3, attacks it. I feel like rogues shouldn't quite have so many removal cards that are either free or draw them cards back, but that's just my opinion. So now he can eviscerate the dwarf as well if he has that. Really, there's like pretty much every single removal card in the rogue's arsenal is terrific here. By the way, this is why it's good to hold back your Cult Master, you know, especially against a rogue. It's just gonna die before it can do anything unless you can like play it and then use it on the turn. It's just not worth it. Alright, so that was kind of unfortunate. I can't kill this now because I've already used my Dark Iron Dwarf, so what are my options? Well, I could play the Wolf Rider and use that to kill this thing, but then I only have 3 mana left. Well, I can actually use the Jungle Panther. It'd be nice to play the Cult Master and the Wolf, but I am a mana short of being able to do that. I obviously don't want to play the Cult Master, or do I? Well, if I play the Cult Master, I can suicide my Murloc in and get a card, but then I only have 2 mana. This guy has a 3rd health, which is really significant because it allows him to live. God, this card is so good. If you compare it to the dwarf, it deals only 1 damage, and it's a 2/2 for 3. Why is this a 3/3 for 3 that deals 2 damage? I mean, yes, combo, but it's so trivially easy to tackle the combo. Anyway, let's just go ahead and kill it. This way, I use my Wolf Rider before it dies. Notice, by the way, this Murloc has already dealt more damage to my opponent than what he would have taken just by killing it with his dagger. That's why you want to kill enemy minions. You're going to have to pay for it anyway. So what I'm really hoping for is a big creature that the Panther can trade with, because then I can play Cult Master, trade, draw a card, use the hero ability to finish it off, or maybe even the Murloc and draw a card. It's getting to the point in the game where this 1/1 is worth less than a card in my hand. So if I can trade it into a creature, I would love to. I have a fear, however, that he's just going to dagger kill it this turn. If he plays something really huge, I could play the Faceless Manipulator as well. So I do have options. He's definitely thinking about his life. Alright, well I cannot choose this because it has stealth. I can't run things into it because it has stealth. That's really tricky. If there were a creature next to it, I could actually use Cone of Cold. Well, that's real sad. So what we're going to do here is just attack, I suppose, and put down my biggest guy. So yes, my Panther is now vulnerable, but at the same time, this is a fine trade because my Murloc can then finish the guy off. And he doesn't have a dagger out, so he can't use his hero ability to kill the Panther right now. So I felt that's why it was okay to put that 4 damage down. We're also getting the Rogue down in health, so it's getting a little bit scary for him to attack stuff, to attack your creatures. Of course, there is the Assassinate, but at least that's most of his turn. And if he daggers and kills this Murloc, it's still not good for him to kill my Panther because I can finish it off with my hero ability. So I feel like I'm in pretty decent shape, although he somehow has card advantage through all of that. And let's see, he's got, 5, 6, plus the weapon. I only have 6, and one of which is a Murloc. So he definitely caught up a little bit that turn thanks to the Assassinate. It's a shame that I wasn't able to stick around with this Faceless or the Ogre couldn't survive a turn, so I could get another Ogre. Does he have a Backstab? I always forget about that card. Well, if he has a Backstab, then Backstab, attack, attack, and he's just stone cold, straight up in the lead. Looks like he must not have the Backstab, or else he would have played it. What would he be thinking about so much? Ah, he was thinking about what to attack. He still left me with this Murloc, knowing that it can kill the Tiger. That has got to be a mistake. Alright, well, let's see. If I play the Cult Master, I can trade the Murloc in for his Tiger and draw a card. But then my Cult Master is going to die because he's obviously going to either backstab it or use the hero ability and kill it. What are my other options? Well, the Faceless Manipulator is not super great here because it just can copy a 5/1. Flame Strike is cute, but not super useful here. I guess we are going to go ahead and do this. It's just the best, well, it's the best I can do, except for the Cone of Cold, maybe. And I can keep my, no. I want a card. Let's just draw a card, and let's give him a target, I guess. But I still have 4 mana in case I draw something good. That is good. That's an answer to what he might do. So let's play the Sorcerer's Apprentice. This may survive because it seems as though my opponent does not have Backstab, and obviously the Cult Master is a priority target. So I would say that I'm scared because the Rogue does have 6 cards, and my board is not that threatening, and it's very easy to kill. For example, hero ability, Blade Flurry would just kill everything. Fan of Knives, and without even using his power, he can kill whatever he wants, and he gets to draw a card. So that's a bit unfortunate. The Rogue is right. She does, I bet, have so many options. But the good news is that when my opponent actually gets around to playing stuff, I can copy it and then kill it. So my hope is that when he plays stuff, he plays one big thing rather than a lot of little things. That is the hope. Like a Legendary here would just be perfect. Come on, Legendary. Frost Elemental? Alright. I'll take it. I'll take it. Now, no, don't kill my Sorcerer Apprentice. Are you kidding me? Wow, that's such a bad mistake. I draw a card from that. I draw a card from that, dude. Why would you do that? Okay, so this Rogue is definitely a newer player, which is fine. I don't say that insultingly, but just so everyone's aware, this is definitely a newer player because you need to kill this Cult Master ASAP. You cannot let your opponent keep drawing cards off of the Cult Master because that's just too good. So with 9 mana, what do I want to do with my life? Well, I can spend 6 of my 9 mana to kill this thing with Frostbolt. No, sorry, Polymorph plus hero ability. It'd be nice if I could use Frostbolt, but unfortunately I'm 1 damage short after I use the hero ability. I could play Defender of Argus, but that's not great because this guy can't attack right now. What I could do is play the Faceless Manipulator, copy the Frost Elemental, play the Defender of Argus on the right-hand side, purposefully getting negative value out of it so that just the Faceless Manipulator is a 6/6 with Taunt, which will allow my Cult Master to maybe survive. I bet my opponent doesn't have Backstab. He surely would have used it by now. Yeah, he definitely would have used it by now if he had it, so he'd have to top deck it. So is that what I really want to do? Yeah, let's do it. Let's save the Polymorph for a later time. I can actually copy the Cult Master. Oh my god, I'm going to do that. Yeah, I'm going to do that. That seems totally fun. We're going to do this. We're going to give them both taunts, so no matter which one he kills, he loses this creature and I draw a card from the other Cult Master. Now, there's a risk with that play. Hero ability, Poison Weapon, Blade Flurry would kill my entire board. But I'm hoping he doesn't have both Poison Weapon and Blade Flurry, because I think if he had Blade Flurry, he would have used it previously. I have an entire handful of answers. I have nothing to put onto the board right now. So I'm hoping that something stays on, because otherwise I just don't have much board presence. The tragic thing is that this does not damage the enemy directly, this does not damage my opponent directly, This does not either, and this does. Okay, so Frostbolt can actually freeze rogues. That's, that's something I should really consider, because that can allow me to play around his dagger. Ah, alright, so he's going to use Eviscerate to kill one of my Cult Masters, so I do get to draw a card, which is nice. Alright, that's a very good card considering I have no other creatures in my hand, and then he gets to kill my other Cult Master and survive, although of course I can pick it off with my hero ability here. Question is, does he have anything else to do with 4 mana? That's a lot of mana for a rogue. For a rogue, 4 mana is like infinite mana. Battlecry, deal 1 damage. Oh, I'm really happy to see this. This is 3 mana. That just doesn't matter to me at all. Alright, well, that's all she wrote. Let's see what I've got here. I can't buff this guy up, but I can kill this. And I still have enough damage left to kill this. I can, of course, Flame Strike and kill everything. Well, normally I wouldn't do such a loose Flame Strike, but I will here because I still have a Polymorph. So, this seems just really good to do. I mean, what's my alternative? Hero Power, trade, I could Frostbolt. That is a total of 5 mana, leaving me with 5 for the Venture Co. Okay, maybe I will do that. Let's save the Flame Strike for another time. And proceed about my business as follows. Cone of Cold is also an option to freeze his guys. Lots of options there. Now I can still play this Worgen next turn. And yeah, he's gonna have to get another Assassinate here, or a Sap, or a Kidnapper, in order for me to, in order to deal with this guy. Otherwise he's in super big trouble. One problem with using the Frostbolt to kill his 3/3 is that I now don't have a way to deal direct damage to him, because again, none of these deal direct damage to your opponent. But I'm hoping that at some point he'll just spend his entire turn playing down a big creature or something, and I can actually put my Polymorph to good use. Assassin's Blade is something that makes me really wish I had a Frostbolt, so I could stop him from attacking. Wow, that's a really good card in this situation. Luckily, I have a lot of life that this Assassin's Blade, despite the 20 damage it deals, isn't going to kill me. Question is he going to hit my Venture Co? If he does, I'm okay with it. That does hurt him a lot. I still have another creature to play. Oh no, please don't hit me. That's gotta be the wrong move. Yeah, this is a big mistake because he's about to take 7 damage anyway, so he might as well, hit me. Or hit the creature. Now, he can deal 18 damage exactly by using his hero ability every turn. So I guess actually that might be an okay play on his part. I'm going to play the Worgen. And I'm going to hero ability him. I don't want to make the Worgen enraged just yet. I want to put as much pressure on him as I can. So now it's, a very dicey proposition for him to hit my Worgen, especially because one of these 2 cards needs to answer my Venture Co. And he does have to answer it directly because Taunt isn't going to do it. I've got Polymorph. That is a pretty good answer. So he gets his health back up to 15. I can thankfully Polymorph it though, so I don't die to it. And I don't think he can afford to hit my guy. Oh my god, it's getting to be a pretty mighty weapon here. So he's used all his cards. Let's see the situation. If he hits my Worgen, he'll go down to 12. I can hit him for 7. He'll go down to 5. Then he can't kill my guy anymore. He's going after me. Ballsy. Very, very ballsy. It's quite ballsy when you consider that he's actually dead. So that was definitely a mistake on his part. Since I had, lethal damage on the board there. He had to kill one of my guys. So notice my Venture Co Mercenary hit him twice. If he had killed the Venture Co Mercenary with the dagger while he had a chance, he would have only been hit once. And if he had killed the Murloc when he had the chance, he actually would have had 1 or 2 more life at the end, and I wouldn't have been able to make that play. Well, let's see. Would I have? I could have Polymorphed and Cone of Cold. Yeah, I could have made the play. Still, I could have Polymorphed his Alexstrasza and Cone of Cold it. But looking back on that game, I would say the mistake I made is that I used Frostbolt on one of his creatures when I knew that Frostbolt was my only way of dealing direct damage to my opponent, and that against rogues it's especially good because it stops him from attacking with his weapon. This is a different rogue. This is Paris. I am going to keep my turn 2 play, but I'm going to get rid of these later plays and hope I can draw some of my turn 3 or turn 4 stuff. Almost my entire curve is turn 3, turn 4 stuff, so I'm happy playing it. So this is a good illustration of why I'm not a fan of the Ironbeak Owl. It's a 2-drop that I don't actually want to play on turn 2. So even though this looks aggressive with 2 things, using the coin right here is just totally pointless, and I might as well just pass my turn. Now what's interesting is that if he has better things to do on turn 3 than kill my Murloc, and he plays a creature, I can follow it up with the coin, Cult Master on turn 4, and trade stuff in. Now it looks unlikely I'm going to be able to pull that off. I mean, I'm going to play this anyway. But what's probably going to happen is a dagger, plus he's going to kill my other Murloc with his panda. So it's a shame I couldn't get my Cult Master out quite in time. On turn 4, if it's inopportune to play the Cult Master, I can play Fireball to kill something of his.
Do you need a blessing?
This is actually looking like a pretty good play now to buy some time and kill off the Priestess. Alright, this rogue knows what he's doing, because he's actually killing my creatures. This is... Oh, never mind! Forget I said anything. That can't possibly be the right play, because you're just allowing my Murloc to kill off your Priestess here. So, yeah, that was a mistake. He really needed to kill this off. It would have been brilliant, because then this guy goes back up to 2 health and dodges my hero power. Now, perhaps what he was afraid of is that I'm just going to use my hero power to kill the young Priestess anyway. But what I think I'd like to do here... Do you want to freeze this and kill the Priestess? Well, then it would be down to 2. And then I can make it go down to 1. I save the coin then. But no, let's just actually do the play that my opponent so graciously offered me. Play the Cult Master. I don't mind trading it in for the panda, that's okay. Because I get a card back. I take care of one of his other features. He's probably not even going to do this trade. He's probably just going to pump up his dagger and kill me that way, which I'm okay with. On turn 4, I have an option of a couple of different things. I can either play this if the state of things is quiet, or I can play the Fireball if he drops something I need to kill. Luckily, with only 4 mana, he can't both drop something I need to kill and kill my Cult Master, but it looks like he doesn't have anything else to drop, so I just hope he doesn't have any 2-drops here, in which case... I'm comfortable playing the Inventor. Please don't have anything to play for 2 mana. Please don't have anything to play for 2 mana. Pass the turn. No! Oh, that's really unfortunate. Well, shucks. Shucks a doodle do. So this Gnomish Inventor is terrible now because the Brewmaster just kills it. Oh boy. Well, the Panther's actually alright, although I don't want to take 6 damage. So I could use the Cone of Cold just to slow him down. What do I do next turn with 5 mana? Panther and kill the wolf, I guess? Boy, that doesn't seem that great, because he's got the whole turn 5 that I didn't put anything on the board with. Well, if I play the Panther now, I can... Oh, I already spent my coin, so it's 2 turns till I can play this guy down. Man alive. Well, I think I am in kind of damage control mode here. What I think I'll do, perhaps, is... Fireball this thing. Oh, man, that can't be right. Alright, I'm definitely behind against this rogue. That's quite unfortunate. That wolf is so good. So...
Well played.
If I play the Gnomish Inventor, draw a card, it dies, this goes down to 1 health, then I can freeze the wolf and finish it off with Cone of Cold next turn when I have nothing better to do on turn 5 anyway. Alright, let's do this. What this does is it saves some health on me. And I think that's really important against rogues, because the Assassin's Blade, if you count it up, it's like anywhere between 12 and 16 damage over turns, so you need to keep your health up when you play rogues. I'm hoping this is unthreatening enough looking that if he has something like Assassinate, he won't be tempted to play it. I just need to survive to the later game where I can actually start playing some of these cards. So let's see what my opponent can do. If he just plays 1 creature, I'll be in really great shape, because Cone of Cold will stop things from attacking and finish this thing off, and that'll buy me enough time. That'll actually leave me with 2 mana with which I can silence something that needs silencing, or just use my hero ability to finish off the wolf after it has been Cone of Colded. So 1 creature would be great. That is okay, although in the rogue's hands that's also terrifying. Yeah, alright. This is actually kind of unfortunate because I can't stop everything with the Cone of Cold. That's an interesting idea. So I could play sneak this out. Then, of course, I'm not killing anything. Although, wait, this would make Cone of Cold cost 2. Nope, I'm still not killing it. Alright, yeah, let's go ahead and stick with my original plan. This seems to be what saves me from the most damage. Oh, no, I screwed up! I should have Cone of Cold to this and then use the hero ability to kill off the panda. Because that would have also killed this minion for free. That was a mistake. That could definitely cost me big time, too. Alright, well, with my remaining mana, do I want to put a creature on the board, or do I want to just kill this off? Let's just kill this thing off. Well, this is a scarier thing, so let's kill it. Yeah, that was a very bad positioning of Cone of Cold. I should have moved on over to the right. Now, next turn I can play the Lord of the Arena, which I don't feel too great about, because by this point the rogue's probably drawn Assassinate, and even Eviscerate with this Violet token will do the trick, which is why it's a darn shame that I didn't kill it off when I had the chance. So let's see what my opponent can do. Questing Adventurer takes some time to get big, so I guess I won't complain too much. That's not the scariest thing that my opponent could be playing right now. So I'm just trying to hang on for dear life. There is no life gain in this deck, so I have to, you know, make the most of it. Right, already down to just about half life. This is do or die for me here. It's does my rogue have sap or assassinate, or silence for that matter? If he does, I probably lose. If he just has a handful of creatures, then I might survive. Oh, not killing this was very unfortunate. Alright, Dagger Mastery is encouraging. That's 2 mana he's not spending to play other stuff. Well, he's thinking, so it suggests he doesn't have Assassinate. That's good. What do I do next turn? Well, a Faceless Manipulator would actually be really nice. Flame Strike would be really nice. That might be the one thing I have to count on to save this game for me. Yeah, Flame Strike is really, really critically needed here. This is going to sack that guy. Interesting choice. It doesn't make the difference. 1 extra damage does not make the difference in any of the combat math, because 3 plus 2 would have killed it just as well. So he just threw a guy away, I think. I don't see anything justifying that. Rogue trying to buff his own creatures? That's interesting. I think that was a mistake. Well, let's see what he... Oh, if he plays another spell, then the adventurer becomes a 4/4. I see. But he didn't do that, so... Alright. Oh, time almost ran out before he attacked me. That would have been really hilarious. Okay, no Flame Strike. 1 mana shy of playing this and this, which is brutally heartbreaking. I could silence the adventurer, I suppose, and then this guy would trade with it. And I can also silence this guy. Is that a little bit spendthrift? I think it's okay, since I do have Fireball to deal with insert random big thing he might play here. Now, if I want to play this turn, I can only spend 3 mana on creatures, which is a shame, because I can't have any 2 creatures that I play for 2 mana. Yeah, I feel like I'm 1 mana behind this whole game. So do I want to play this Boulder Fist Ogre, or do I want to play smaller stuff? Well, I think it's actually a little bit safer to silence this, because that adventurer could get really big, and I need to preserve my health as much as I can. The Defender would be really kind of wasted here. I could play the Spellbreaker to silence this. And alright, I'm gonna just play out both my silences. Maybe a little bit risky, but I do still have Fireball to handle 1 big thing that he might play. Fireball plus hero ability is 7 damage. That'll take care of most things. I mean, not some of the legendary dragons, but they're stupid anyways. Okay, that could be really good or really bad. Yeah, alright. I mean, obviously the best would have been if he hit his own creatures, but he did not kill the owl, which is really good. That's mainly what I was hoping for. Oh my gosh, if this is all he does this turn, I'll be really happy. If he trades, destroy new minion damaged by this minion. Oh, that's a pretty cute card. Oh my god, where is Flame Strike when I need it? I really, really, really need a Flame Strike here. Or another Cone of Cold would be pretty spectacular as well. Oh, he got the Adventurer back in his hand,
Give me a quest.
so he could replay it. I would have done that before playing all those other spells that he played, but that's just me. I got my Questing Adventurer. How much does he suck? He sucks a lot. So I think I need to start taunting it up here. I have 4 mana to work with, and there's only one way to put 2 creatures on the board, so that's what we'll do. My hero ability can't kill anything. Let's do it.
Me and Mr. Whitey.
So this is a desperation move. Don't get me wrong. This guy will take out the 3/5, but my 2 remaining creatures trade with his 2 creatures. He can obviously rogue dagger the Dragonling, but he's got to be a little bit careful against a mage, right? I mean, if he takes 3 damage, he's down to 11. I can almost burn him down at that point. Granted, he can almost burn me down at this point, but I feel like that would be a very foolhardy move. Preparation, so he's making the spell cost less. I guess I'm okay with that, because he's got so much mana anyway, I doubt it mattered. Does he have Assassinate? He has Assassinate. Bah! And is he gonna dagger kill this? Is he going after me? He's gonna deal 7 damage to me with his creatures. I think I'd be okay with that. Some taunt would be nice here. Alright, he's hedging his bets a little bit. I'm okay with that. Oh my god, Cone of Cold would be perfect. Flame Strike? Okay. This is a bit of a spendthrift Flame Strike, but I don't have any taunt, and I don't want Rogue to hit me anymore. So we're gonna just do it. And I'm gonna actually put a creature on the board here, because at the moment he doesn't have a dagger out, so he can't actually kill this apprentice.
Just like you.
Job's done.
So I've got 6, 7 damage on hit. I really just need to deal 4 damage to him. Oh, that's perfect. He top decked a very, very bad card in this circumstance. So I need to decide how risky I'm willing to be. Do I kill this thing? Or do I just attack him? So pros and cons. If I attack him, he goes down to 9. And then Fire Blast. He goes down to 8. Then
I wonder.
attacking him with my Sorcerer's Apprentice next turn plus Fireball will kill him. So I can go for the kill next turn that way. But I'm also basically going for the kill next turn just by putting a creature down. So we're going to go ahead and make the safer play. Don't want him to do anything whatsoever where a point of damage might actually matter. So let's put some creatures down here on the board. The question is, do I put a big one or like three little ones? Well, Blade Flurry could kill all of these. Assassinate could kill this, if he has yet another one, and that guy is fine. So now he knows he's in trouble, because even on the board I'm representing 9, 11 damage already. So I don't even end up needing this Fireball. And yep, that's good game.
Well played.
Very close game here. And that's not gonna save you, man. I've got 8 damage. I don't even need my hero power. Alright, wow, that's... You gotta feel pretty good, right? When you start an arena and your first 2 matches are 2 rogues, and you win them both. I'm pretty happy about that. Now, granted, the first rogue was a new player, but I think the second rogue was perfectly fine. He played very well from what I could tell. I just had enough answers for all this stuff. I think that Dragonling Mechanic plus Defender of Argus bought me enough time to win the game. Without it, I probably would have lost. Granted, if I had just like a random Flame Strike or a Cone of Cold there, that would have also won me the game. So I feel like I had enough answers that can't be said to have been too lucky on my part.
Jaina versus.
Alright, this is my 3rd rogue match, so I've played nothing but rogues currently in this arena, but this is the same rogue as the previous one. This is Mr. Paris. So, do I keep my Blood Knight or not? I think the answer is yeah. I mean, I guess I could go fishing for a better 3-play. Yeah, I'm going to take a little bit of a risk here. I'm going to keep the Defender of Argus, because that's really great against rogues, slowing down his attacks, and let's hope that I draw some stuff I can play early on. Oh no! That was a bad draw. I should have kept my 3-drop. Well, I'm in top deck mode already here, basically. I need to draw something I can play. That is fantastic. Really thrilled to see that. No reason whatsoever to use the coin on it. We'll just play it on turn 2. And, unfortunately... on turn 3 I have nothing to do, but on turn 4, I can actually play that guy just naked onto the field without using his battle cry. Oh, well, that's nice. So I can play this and bait him to use his dagger and kill it. I think I'd rather play this, though, which he can only kill one of. Although, oh, you know, that might have been a mistake. He can kill either of these without actually having to spend mana. So with this play, he can kill it and play more stuff on the board. Ah, I messed up. I should have played the Sorcerer's Apprentice. He almost certainly would have daggered up and killed it if I had done that. Well, I get lucky anyway, and he ends up using the mana to play back his dagger because apparently he has nothing better to do. Alright, all these late game plays are cute and all, but I need to do some stuff now. So, one option is just to play it slow and play Sorcerer's Apprentice, hero ability. Actually, no, then just Sorcerer's Apprentice. Then he can dagger up and kill it. I know, though, he has deadly poisons in his deck. So, I think what I'd actually rather do is attack, coin, Brewmaster, and put my Murloc back into my hand. So it actually costs 0, so it's not a problem to replay it on the board. I'm just losing 1 point of damage from not attacking. And I can even play it and the Defender of Argus, which is actually a sweet combo I just now noticed. Yeah, that's probably what I'll be doing next turn, unless something really major happens. Now, he's at 4 mana, and he went first, so no point for him. He has to wait a turn before he can assassinate this, and I can kill anything he puts down. Only thing that he can really do with this turn that would be good is if he has Poison Weapon, or Deadly Poison, and then Hero Ability, and then he can kill it with 4 damage on his dagger.
Go ahead.
Patient Assassin is a good play, because he can kill my big dude. That's what costs, what, 2 mana? Yeah, that's a pretty economical use of his time. Well, let's see here. Is there any way that I can save this feller? Not really. So I can either do my original plan of Murloc Scout, Defender of Argus, make a 2/2 taunt and a 6/5 taunt, who unfortunately will then die to this Patient Assassin. Then he can dagger up and kill my taunting Murloc. Alternative plan is to play Dragonling Mechanic and then attack. I'm not actually sure which is better. He could just dagger kill the thing I make. Yeah, let's go for the,
What to do?
let's go for the Defender play here.
My shield for Argus.
It puts a little bit more on the board, a little bit quicker, and if he wants to kill this, he has to use his hero ability, which is a big chunk of his mana this turn. This is a very good card. I could, of course, have put the Defender over here and made this a Taunter, but that really wouldn't have saved the guy because he could just hero ability kill the Taunter and then attack anyway. Alright, well, this game is going much better than last game, so it'd be hilarious if I lost it now, but the reason I think it's going better is I'm in a really great health, and it's turn 5, and I've got good plays to make here, so it seems like I'm in a pretty good position here. Obviously, rogues with lots of cards are a terrifying thing, but I think that I've got really good stuff between this guy and the Flame Strike. So you can backstab this. That is fine. I will take it. Alright, so I could silence this thing. What else does he have in his deck that's worth silencing? Well, the Questing Adventurer and the Divine Shield guy from what we've seen in the previous game. Now, I could also play Faceless Manipulator and give him a taste of his own medicine there. I don't have any spells to play, really, at the moment, though, except for Flame Strike, coming up in 2 turns. I could kill his 1/1s with my Defender, but I think I'd rather get his health down to make it harder for him to attack me. So, the problem with this as a silencer on the Violet Teacher is she can actually trade into him and kill him. So I'm not a super big fan of that. Let's instead... Oh, I can't hero ability and summon this dragon thing. Shoot. You know what? I think I'm actually going to play it safe. I am going to kill this guy. I want to clear out the board. Even though Flame Strike will get it all in a couple of turns, I think the damage is actually relevant. I'm going to play the Sorcerer's Apprentice just to bait him into doing stuff. This Sorcerer's Apprentice, if it sits in my hand, it's just never getting played. I have stuff to do. Like, any one of these 4 or 5 drops next turn, Flame Strike, almost certainly the turn after that. I mean, I got stuff that needs to happen. So, this card is more valuable to me now as a possible savings of health than it would be or a baiting of removal spells than it is later.
So many.
And like if he plays backstab on it, essentially this card was, 2 mana rogue loses backstab, which is perfectly fine. Now it's kind of frustrating that both of his creatures are at 5 health. That's very, very sad. But at least that one got a little bit of damage, so that's fine. And I'm at 6 mana. Alright, well this guy is neat, but I don't have any spells to back him up with. This guy is very neat. Ascension is really good here. The question is, does the rogue have any bigger stuff in his deck that I'd want to Faceless Manipulate later? And the answer is no, I haven't seen anything actually. And this actually holds off both of his guys. So I'm actually going to do that. As the old saying goes, a good option now is better than a good option later. So we're going to save up some health and get that Taunter. So my hope is he plays a bunch of creatures that have 4 toughness or less. If he plays a really big creature, that would be very unfortunate. Although the assassin could potentially kill it. Alright, that wolf is cool. I'm really happy to see it because A, it dies to Flame Strike, and B, it doesn't actually affect the combat math here very much.
What you want?
Oh, that is very unfortunate because the way that buffing works is this will not die when I Flame Strike. So that's really, really sad. So he interestingly didn't leave himself enough mana to dagger up and finish off my Ascension. But I guess he could attack with both of his guys if he wants. Or if he has a backstab, obviously that'll do the trick as well. He's gonna... Interestingly, so that plus attack made absolutely no difference to anything. Okay, well, lots of options here. I still can't make any great use out of this. Although... Hang on. It would... Yeah, I mean, it would sort of come closer to killing the Frostwolf Warlord. This would be a very aggressive play, but I'm not a big fan of it. I'd rather actually put this Taunter down and be a little bit more protective. I'm guessing if he had Assassinate, he would have played it, is the thing. Now, the Spellbreaker is interesting because I can turn this guy off, essentially, and then make him die to Flame Strike next turn. The question is, can I afford to take so much damage? 4, 8, 10, go down to 14. A little scary, for sure. Alright, we're going to... go for it. This does save me some damage. It's a little bit safer because if I play this and it gets silenced, I'm going to take a lot more damage. And we're just going to put this guy on the board. It does mean that he'll get damaged a bit after I play Flame Strike next turn, but I think a point of damage on him is alright, especially because he might not even survive this turn. So again, I'm hoping just that he plays more creatures that have 4 toughness or less. I am behind at this point, so I need to. That's what I would need to come back. That's a very interesting decision. That's a very interesting decision. I'm pretty happy about those plays. Let's see what he actually puts on the board. Dagger Mastery is encouraging. At least it means he didn't have any 8 mana legendary. That is less encouraging because it does not die to Flame Strike. Alright, he didn't attack me, so he's saving his dagger. That's okay. What I'm going to do is put this guy down. And I see no particular reason not to finish off the Warlord. Alright, so now I'm actually feeling ahead here. He would really need to play a big old fat legendary for me to feel like I'm behind. The reason is that this guy is blocking everything off nicely. He seems to have no assassinates. I think he would have used it the turn he killed... The turn that he 2-for-1'd himself into my Sungeon Shieldmaster. I'm sure he would have used Assassinate if he had it. So here, after he hits my arena, let's say, with this, and then finishes me off with the dagger, this will now die to Flame Strike. Oh no, sorry, it just dies right away. So he 2-for-1'd himself voluntarily again, which suggests a little bit of desperation. He's using Dagger Mastery and playing an Ooze, which suggests he doesn't have any better plays, which is fine. Young Priestess is terrific. I'm really happy to see that. That's just not that scary. Alright, is that really all you can do? Interesting. Alright, so Frostbolt. Alright, I know now to hold back on that. I'm feeling pretty good here. Let's just play the simple and safe Assassin. Let's see, do I want to save him maybe as a finisher? I could play this instead. Nah, it just dies to the Ooze. This actually survives the Ooze. but I have 2 mana left over. Yeah, let's just put him down. I don't have to attack with him right away.
Job's done.
So I need to be a little bit wary of my life, because he does have an Assassin's Blade, and I didn't have any oozes in this deck. Frostbolt will save me, you know, for 1 turn, but still I'm at the point where like a single Assassin's Blade just straight up deals enough damage to kill me. Alright, so the question is, do I play it safe and just attack like this, knowing that at 2 health this guy will probably die, or do I go for the damage on my opponent? I could of course use the Frostbolt to kill it, but I would like to save that for my opponent directly. Although, hang on, maybe that is the correct play after all.
What to do? What to do?
Let me think. I could play this and this guy. I mean, I'm putting so much damage on the board. Yeah, let's just put the pressure on him. I'm gambling basically that this 3 damage from the ooze isn't gonna make a difference.
Job's done.
Because now he is dead on the board. So this forces him to have an answer, and I don't believe rogues have a good answer to what I have here. I mean, double assassinate is probably the best that I can think of. Oh my god, I forgot to play around to Betrayal. Jesus, that's the card I always forget about. Yes, had I put these Dragonlings in the middle between my 2 giant creatures, I would have been in much better shape. Well, the good news is he's still dead on the board. 6, 8, plus 3 is 11. So he would have to make this trade in order to not die. But that was pretty epic of him. And of me. I've noticed this is actually a kind of systemic flaw in my play, is I forget about creature positioning and just kind of put things on the board without thinking about it too
What
much.
you want?
Had I thought about it, I would still have people alive, and I would be in much better shape. Okay, so what's the situation here? I can deal 6 damage, 7 damage, 8, 9, 10 damage. Not quite enough damage to kill him. I could kill off his Warlord, of course. The Pint-Sized Summoner is mostly irrelevant here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Does not deal damage to the hero. Well, I think the safe... I'm getting somewhat low enough that I think I'll just play it safe. Let's kill that. And, let's just kill that. I don't care about the Pint-Sized Summoner at this point. Although it does then trade with my Ogre, which is kind of comical. Is it better just to kill this? Yeah, I think we'll just kill this. Because now he needs to at least draw a creature in order to be able to trade. With 8 mana, I have a choice between this or the Spiteful Smith. This survives more, but it makes him disinclined to attack my Ogre. But this... Or sorry, this survives less, but makes him disinclined to attack my Ogre. But this survives more, and since I'm holding on to Frostbolt, I think I would rather just be closer to killing him. So next turn, if he just plays creatures, I can play the Cult Master and probably trade my Ogre off on his Frostbolt Warlord and draw a card. It's possible that I should have just used the Frostbolt to kill the ooze, and I was too stingy with my removal spells. In any case, I'm at a pretty big advantage just because of the bigness of the stuff I have, although the game would already be over if I had ordered things Assassin, Mechanic, Dragonling, and then Ogre. He couldn't have used Betrayal to kill my big guys, and then I would have already won. So this has been a very important textbook lesson on creature positioning and knowing your opponent's removal spells. Against rogues, you have to play against Betrayal. Against Haunters, you have to play around Explosive Shot. What else is it in the game where it matters how you arrange your things? Cone of Cold for mages slightly matters. Probably not enough that you should care too much most of the time. Yeah, Betrayal and Explosive Shot are the big two. Well, my opponent clearly doesn't have any gangbuster plays here, or else he would have already done it. I can't see a way for the rogue to deal 11 damage with 2 cards, so I don't think he has enough damage. If he had like a Reckless Rocketeer, he could do a scary amount of damage to me, though. 5 plus 5 is 10, 11. Alright, that's encouraging. It means he doesn't have anything better to do, and his turn ran out before he could actually attack me. Okay, well, he just died. He just died thinking. So it turns out I didn't need the Flame Strike or the Frostbolt, so that's good. And that's 3 for 3 against rogues in the arena. It'd be really hilarious if I now like lost 3 games in a row to like priests. That would just be great. All right, 3-0, fantastic, especially against rogues. I mean, talk about feeling on top of the world. Let's go ahead into our 4th match. Alright, we have a new Striffler. Is that right? Striffer. Is that like stripper? What is that? Okay, Striffer, the paladin. I don't want Flame Strike just yet. The question is, do I want this questing adventurer? Well, or the Wolf Rider for that matter. The problem with the Wolf Rider is the paladin's minions kill it. But it's probably going to have a target to remove. So, I might not even want either of these actually. Questing adventurer for removal baiting. I'll keep both of them, whatever. It's flexible then. In some cases I'll want to play this, in some cases I'll want to play this. It just depends on if my opponent put anything on the board worth charging into or not. Alright, Frostbolt, there's my average removal spell. 3 damage for 3 mana is not super duper great. See if my opponent has an aggressive turn 2 play. He could actually get quite far ahead if he does. If he plays something with 1 toughness, I'll be pretty happy because I currently have no 2-turn play, so I'll be fine using my hero ability against it. Alright, well the Fairy Dragon cannot be targeted by my spell, so that is a pretty good thing to play. Let's go ahead and burst my opponent a little bit and pass the turn. So here's where my abundance of 3 drops and my lack of 2 drops is really killing me. Would have been nice to have an actual play. The fact that he used the coin on turn 1 suggests he had more to do on turn 2, and in fact he does. Thankfully this is just a 1 power creature, so I don't particularly mind. Let's see, do I want a Cone of Cold? That seems wrong. We'll just go ahead and kill this thing. Alright, so I'm definitely behind. He has board presence, more cards, and it's his turn. That's unfortunate. But at the same time, at least he used his coin, and I've got a pretty good play on turn 4.
We must cleanse the sun.
Alright, that gets buffed, just makes it a little bit scarier. But I got multiple Cones of Cold, so over 2 turns I can whittle these down and still not kill them. That's pretty funny. Let's see, this survives against both of them, although together they would kill it, but then the Dragonling would finish him off. Yeah, let's just put this down.
Job's done.
Alright, slow start to this game, and my opponent had a fast start, so I'm definitely feeling a bit behind. My hope is maybe if he has a super aggressive deck or something that he doesn't have good plays later on, or doesn't draw them. Then again, I don't really have good plays later on, so I'm not in the best shape here. Definitely starting this one a little bit behind. Oh no, that's really good, and I never saw an ooze in this draft. Okay, now I am like behind to the point where I'm seriously concerned about losing this game. So, yeah. We're going to just try to stem the bleeding here. Can I play the Sorcerer's Apprentice? Yeah, I'll bait his use of the weapon, because I would rather him kill this than something more important. And let's play Cone of Cold. Here. This will save me some damage, and it will also kill that engineer finally. And save me probably 4 damage, or damage on a better creature, because he wants that guy to die for sure. But I'm still behind because he killed that for free without spending any mana, so he's got his full mana for the turn here, and Cone of Cold only holds them off for so long. Alright, the Panther is interesting, and the Lewd Hoarder. Okay, well, this is pretty perfect for Cone of Cold, number 2. Even though I can't finish off the Panther with my hero ability, this is fine. So we're going to play the Questing Adventurer first, then play another Cone of Cold. Yes, my opponent gets a card, but at least I can finally kill this thing maybe next turn with my hero ability. Main problem now is, well, I do have this Silencer. I don't have anything that would answer like just a random big creature. Say like a Boulder Fist Ogre right here, it would really kind of decimate me. Although I could facelessly manipulate it, so that's actually fine. Questing Adventure might be a little bit of an overrated card. I mean, my deck's curve is pretty low, and even then it's really difficult to play this, have it live for a turn, and then like play enough other stuff that it actually gets appreciably big enough. This is in stealth, so I cannot shoot it down, so it will get to trade against something, but this is not stealth, so I'll be able to kill it for 2 mana. That'll leave me with 5, which is enough to play the Faceless Manipulator, so for once I finally feel as though I have enough mana to do what I want to do. So he's buffing his stealth guy, so he's telegraphing his move, but that's not necessarily a bad play because I can't do anything about it because it's stealthed. Only way I could really kill that is with, like, Flame Strike. Oh my lord, are you kidding me? Wow. Okay, so that's actually interesting that I drew Flame Strike. Well, the question here is, how greedy do I want to get? If I Flame Strike and kill this, I'll also pop his shield, but he's still in stealth. And he'll actually have 5 health. Now, the reason that might not be a bad thing is that then I can play the Faceless Manipulator and copy it after he attacks. And then I could silence it to basically return it back to a 4/2. Well, so that would be the greedy play. The less greedy play would be to play Hero Ability to kill this thing and just trade here and let him have his 8/5. It's not getting any bigger. It's not a questing adventurer. So the question is, what do I want to do here? I think copying my questing adventurer doesn't seem all that great. Alright, we'll go for the greedy play. Why not? Let's play Flame Strike. Pop the Divine Shield. Attack for 4. So the idea here is, and this could go all the way bad. The idea here is that after he attacks me for 8 and I go down to 14 damage, I play the Faceless Manipulator to copy it so I get my own 8/5. And then I can silence it to bring it back down to a 4/2. That is the play. If I didn't have the silencer, I would not have waited for this. Oh my gosh, I'm only at 8 mana next turn, not 9. Okay, that was definitely a mistake. So yeah, I really screwed up, because I would never want this to hit me twice. That would be terrible. Okay, so I definitely screwed up here. Basically, he's probably going to kill my adventurer, and then I can Faceless, this becomes a 5/5, and then I can trade if he were to attack with this. But I definitely don't want this guy to hit me twice. I don't want to get hit for 16 damage from that thing. Choose a champion. Damn it! Oh no. Okay, so he gets to kill my questing adventurer right before it can get big enough to fight back. And unfortunately now, I don't have enough damage. I don't have enough mana to silence this and play the Faceless. Bah. Well, I'm in trouble. That is for sure. So, my play here is probably Spellbreaker, silence this, it becomes a 4/2, and then Frostbolt it, and just accept the fact that I'm like super far behind. I go, oh, this is better. This is way better. It lets me keep my silence. I still don't have enough mana. See, 5, 8. Yeah, I can't then actually play my Frostbolt. But what we'll do is this. This. And this. Kill it off. I didn't get to play Faceless Manipulator, but that was a bad plan to begin with. I should have just played it and made another questing adventurer, and then gotten ready to silence the Panther after it attacked. So this guy had a very good deck draft, though. He has 2 True Silver Champions. That's a huge card advantage, as you can see. He's ahead of me on cards, ahead on the board, and it's his turn. So that's really bad. My only hope here is he plays something like that, which I can facelessly manipulate. But it's not even worth silencing. It's just a random big dude. Crap. Oh my gosh. That's really not good. I don't think battle cries trigger when you use the Faceless Manipulator. This is really bad. Okay, well, I need to put something on the board. So that's what happens. And I don't think I want to put this down. So we'll do this. And we'll do this. Okay, well at the moment I am all set to lose this game, which is a shame. But the Paladin did have a good deck, and I did make a mistake, so I can't really complain. I still don't even know what that secret is. I'm guessing it's Noble Sacrifice, just because that's the only secret really worth drafting. And he's had creatures die and they didn't come back to life. And I've had creatures come into play and they didn't get lowered to 1 health, so yeah. Alright, looks like great minds think alike. Oh, lordy. I can kill one of them, but not the other one. So I'm going down to 8 health, and then another 5 going down to 3 health. Yeah, I'm in serious trouble here. Do I really even have anything that would save me? Does he seriously have a 3rd True Silver Champion? You've got to be kidding me. Well, when you play against a Paladin who drafts and then draws 3 True Silver Champions, you really can't complain too much if you lose. So, that's just life. Hopefully we'll get lowered in the bracket here in the next round and play someone with a little bit of a less ridiculous deck. Alright, so I see no reason not to just play everything out here, I suppose. Attacking into that's not even worth it, really. Let's just play that. And let's play that.
Your magic shall not save.
And let's see if we can get the Noble Sacrifice. Always attack with the smaller creature first. Yep, there it is. Even as the best Paladin secret, it's still not that great. Let's do that. Alright, so he has board control and card advantage and a huge life advantage, so yeah, that's definitely not good. So 5 plus 4 is 9. Well played. 2 Blessing of Kings and 3 True Silver Champions. Alright. Alright, Paladin, good luck. Good luck in your run to 9. I still beat 3 rogues. Granted, 2 of them were the same one, but hey, who cares? Alright, so that was kind of an unfortunate defeat. That was my first defeat in a while. Since my last arena was a 9-0, I went 12 arena games without losing one. And that was a pretty honorable fellow to lose to. Oh, don't click play, don't click play. I want to wait a few seconds. I definitely don't want to play that guy again. The rogue, the second rogue I beat, he played me twice. And it was probably because he clicked play too fast. So let's wait a little bit. Let's click play now. And play anybody other than that Paladin.